Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about elections. That is, Maharashtra State Legislative Assembly elections that will take place this year. And I will compare the performance of the BJP and the Congress governments. Let's begin. Hello, welcome to Global Nationalism. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today I'm going to be talking about elections. The elections for today are that I'll talk about are the Maharashtra State Legislative Assembly elections that will take place later this year, perhaps in October or November. I want to uh, explain why I think the BJP should get another term in power should be re-elected, and that why I prefer them over the Congress-led opposition. And mind, before I begin, I want to make a disclaimer: I am not paid by the BJP or the Shiv Sena or any political party. I have never met anyone from these parties or the opposition parties. I have never interacted with any political party. I am completely unaffiliated. I simply support the BJP. I don't even like them much, actually. I just think that they're better than the other options in Indian politics, which isn't saying much since most of them are pretty bad. Yeah. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. Um, so, for this, I'm going to be looking at economic data and data about law and order, such as terrorism within Maharashtra. Now, this comes from an article written in 2019 in the Business Today. It was a comparison of the Maharashtra economy from the last two governments, the BJP power, that came to power in 2014 and INC that ruled the state for over a decade until 2014. There was the growth rate was the same for both governments, 7.6%, which is a stable growth rate. And however, agriculture was growing faster in the Congress government and fell in the um, BJP government, but industry grew faster to 7.2% to Congress's 5.8%. The service sector also grew by 20 basis points from an average of 8.9% during FY 10 to 14 to 9.1% during FY 15 to 18. Then there is an increase in investments in new and stalled projects. New investments in Maharashtra were on a rise during financial year 15 to 19 with cumulative investments of 10.5 lakh rupee crores, which is 56% higher than 6.7 lakh crore new investments during FY 10 to 14 under INC's Prithviraj Chauhan. However, stalled investments in the state increased nearly three times from 3.5 lakh crores during 55 FY 10 to 14 to 10.8 lakh crores. However, I think the growth in investments compensates for the stalled investments, that growth, the stalled investments in the state. So I still think that this shows that the BJP is superior for investment purposes than the Congresses and also in growth, as I showed earlier, where industry and services sector grew more in their term, and fiscal prudence. In 2010, the fiscal deficit to GSDP was at 3.1%, surpassing the fiscal responsibility and budget management (FRBM) target of 3%. Thereafter, the ratio of Maharashtra has been below 3% since FY11 within the FRBM norms. Between 11 and 14, the fiscal deficit of the state reduced considerably and was maintained below 2%. During the span of the 5 years of 13th state assembly, fiscal deficit was lower than 1.5%. So this is superior than the um, term from 11 to 14, where it was merely below 3% since FY11. And Yeah, later went to below 2%. Here it's lower than 1.5%. On two occasions, the state has been adhering to the debt to GDP norm of 25%, as has been prescribed by the 14th Finance Commission. It has moderated from 16.3% in FY14 to 15.6% in FY19, mainly due to higher growth in nominal GSDP. So, in fiscal prudence, they are better than Congress, which was ruling previously. But I still think that they need to be better. And the state has increased its spending on agriculture and allied activities in the past 5 years. So I think that will, although this is uh, more almost 8 years old data, almost 10 years old data, but I think this increased spending will show an impact maybe in this decade. The share of expenditure on agriculture and allied services in total expenditure of the state has increased from 5% to 8%. So this is better than the Congress. So we can see that in their first term, they did economically better than Congress. Not that Congress was terrible. They did grow, they kept the fiscal deficit down, but just that BJP was better than what Congress was doing. And now in the current BJP Shiv Sena government, Maharashtra's growth rate has fallen from 9.4% in 2023 to 23 to 7.6% in 2023 to 24. This is according to Maharashtra's economic survey for 23 to 24. The state's growth rate is set to match that of the Indian economy, which is not bad. As long as it's growing at the same rate as the Indian economy, then there is no reason to worry. This is probably just a regular up and down of the growth rate. But I did not see during the Congress term it ever hitting 9.4%. When I looked at older data, even from the 2004 government of Congress, I couldn't find GDP growing at nine above 9%, mostly maximum to 8%. If I'm wrong, son, I would be happy if someone corrected me. Now, why has there declined? It's because there's been a drop in the growth rate of both the agriculture and services sector. The estimated growth rate in the agriculture and allied services sector, which was flattened by the drought, is set to fall from 4.5% in 2022 to 23 to 1.9%. This is the agricultural growth rate. And the growth rate in the services sector is set to plunge from 13 to 18.8%. So these points I would accept as negative points for the BJP in this current government. This is a concern since the services sector has a much higher share in the computation of economic activity than agriculture or industry. However, what's prominent to note is that the estimated industrial growth rate, on the other hand, is set to see a rise from 5.5 to 7.6% in 23 to 24. This will be a relief for the Shinde government. Within industry, the manufacturing sector is set to see a rise in the estimated growth rate from 2.1% to 7.5%. The estimated growth rate in construction sector is expected to plunge from 14 to 6.2%. However, the mining and quarrying sector is going to grow from 5.3 to 9.1%. So within industry, growth is happening. And however, in terms of finances, the state's per capita income is set to rise from 2.5 lakh to 2.7 lakh. In 2022-23, the state's per capita income was lower than Telangana, Karnataka, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat. So yeah, but that's been constant for a long time in Maharashtra's economic history. It's not new. And the reason why there's been a dip in agricultural growth is because the state received only 86.4% of normal rainfall in 23 to 24. So India needs to make sure its agricultural uh, sector is not dependent on weather for growing. I think the farm laws could have helped with that, but that's a separate video for a separate discussion. Now let's look at terrorism within. these governments. The BJP and Shiv Sena ruled Maharashtra from 1995 to 99 for the first time. Here we can see there were no uh, terrorist attacks in Maharashtra during that period. And the here from 99, we can see that there were one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So eight terrorist attacks in under the Congress government, and how many? And no, nine. Pune too. Nine terrorist attacks. Now, how many have there been under the BJP government? So far, we saw from 95 to 99, zero. Now, from 2014 to 2019, how many were there? Got the Gadchiroli Naxal bombing in Maharashtra in 2019. That was one under the BJP government. And two, the Jaipur Express killings in Palghar, Maharashtra. That's it. So we can see there were two terrorist attacks under the BJP government's term when they were in power in Maharashtra, and there were nine in Congress's term in office. So that clearly shows that the state has fewer terrorist attacks with the BJP government in the state, and especially the center. I think having a BJP government in the centers also helped Maharashtra have fewer terrorist attacks. And now, no political party is perfect, including the BJP, and they are have many flaws. They've lost three several state elections. They lost majority, so they need to do a lot of improvement. But they're still, I think, the best party in the country. They're much less. They're less corrupt than Congress. There haven't been any scams during the current BJP government in power. There's been no terrorist attack like 2611. There's been more economic growth, uh, more infrastructure development, and India's on a much better state with the BJP in power in the center. And Maharashtra's, I think, will do much better with having a BJP in power in the state. But ultimately, it's up to the voters to decide. So I'm not going to tell you if you live in Maharashtra who to vote for. I'm just giving my own endorsement of the BJP that for this election. This is not a paid endorsement, like I said. This is a willing, voluntary endorsement I'm giving to the BJP. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to see other videos about elections, click here. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see the sources I use for this video, click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.